yes, and it's usually the very first thing when you wake up in the day or the morning, whenever you wake up. But there is no...
Morrissey has never been the type to hold his tongue. Throughout his career, he built a reputation not only for poetic melancholy, but also for blunt musical commentary that often sparked long-lasting debates. Whether people agreed with him or not, his critiques came from a deep belief in sincerity and artistry. Over the years, a handful of artists, and sometimes entire movements, caught his attention in ways that were impossible to overlook. These are 6 acts that particularly drew his candid reactions. 6. Duran Duran. In the 1980s, Duran Duran represented the height of new wave glamour. Stylish suits, polished music videos, and radio hits that dominated the decade to millions. Their sound defined an era. But for Morrissey, they symbolized something he resisted, music that relied more on sheen than soul. Their emphasis on image clashed with his belief that artistry should come from emotional truth, rather than glossy presentation. The disconnect between their exuberant aesthetic and his own somber introspection made Duran Duran an easy target for his criticism. 5. Wham! Wham! Offered pure pop joy, bright, energetic, and irresistibly catchy. George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley embraced a celebratory approach to music that stood in direct contrast to Morrissey's reflective storytelling. To him, Wham! His carefree style was a testament to what he viewed as pop's obsession with surface-level pleasure. While their songs brought happiness to countless fans, Morrissey often regarded their upbeat cheer with a skeptical eye, highlighting the divide between pop optimism and alternative introspection. 4. Madonna. As Madonna rose to global superstardom, Morrissey questioned the artistic motives behind her bold reinventions and provocative imagery. He saw her as someone who favored spectacle over emotional vulnerability. Madonna, of course, the old buffum ball. Ja, Gauker. You write a on the power of reinvention, fearlessness, and cultural influence, but Morrissey's perspective focused on authenticity above all else. His critiques emphasized a broader question: how much of pop music's identity is art, and how much is performance? 3. The Cure. Despite occupying neighboring corners of the alternative landscape, Morrissey and The Cure's Robert Smith were famously at odds. While both artists explored themes of loneliness and longing, Morrissey felt that The Cure's aesthetic leaned too heavily into theatrical gloom. He believed there was a difference between expressing sadness and amplifying it for effect. Their long-running tension wasn't just about music. It reflected 2 distinct philosophies on how emotion should be translated into art too. Blur. When Britpop surged in the 1990s, Blur became one of its defining voices. Yet, Morrissey viewed their clever, energetic sound as treading too closely to territory. He felt the Smiths had already pioneered. For him, the band represented the generational shift occurring in British music and the inevitable comparisons between influences and imitators. Whether fair or not, his criticism reflected the growing pains between old guard alternative icons and the new wave of Britpop stars. 1. Oasis. The most talked about clash came with Oasis. Both Morrissey and the Gallagher brothers emerged from Manchester, but the similarities ended there. Oasis embraced swagger, volume, and confident bravado, everything Morrissey intentionally avoided. Their public back and forth became symbolic of 2 different visions of British music. One, introspective and literary, the other, loud and unapologetically bold. Their rivalry echoed the cultural shift of the 90s, as Britpop overtook the moody introspection of the previous decade.